Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Hey, Brenda.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so glad you're joining me today. Brenda is my most incredible moderator and my best friend in the
Oh,
whole
the
wide
wall
room.
mosquitoes in the area.
Uh,
30
oh, hold
seconds.
on. I am
This
getting
will work
feedback.
really
Forgive
great.
me.
Yeah,
Just
you are. That's
that
mine.
is me. That is me. I know what I did. Is
All
that
right,
better?
I think it's gone, Connie.
I think that's going to be better. And Brenda, that also muted you. Does it seem like every time I go live, I learn something new about technology? I just want to say welcome to everybody. I have got some fantastic cards lined up for you guys today. This one, it's kind of a diorama kind of card. As I was creating it, suddenly I just had these waves of memories from when I was a kid. I had this picture in my room of these, it was just layer upon layer of these little cats chasing a ball of yarn. And I loved this picture. I can still see where it was in my room when I was little. And I just was fascinated by it. And it was really kind of cool. Isn't it funny how just creating a card will bring back all those memories? So, we're going to create a really fun diorama card, but here's the cool part. It uses just a quarter sheet of designer series paper and a quarter sheet of cardstock, and then your card base. I mean, I'm going to show you how to really get the most out of your cardstock. So I'll tell you what, we are going to go ahead and get ourselves flipped over here. And as you can see, as always, I've got a free download for you guys so that you'll always have your measurements and you'll always have a supply list and the photos of the cards that we're going to create. If you need to come back, and let me tell you, there is a possibility with today's card, you're going to need to come back and watch the video again because there's a few tips and tricks. And just in case, when you download this, you'll be able to click right there and watch the video. If you want to order any of the supplies or any supplies from Stampin' Up, I would love to be your demonstrator. Click right there and you'll see my supply list and you can place an order as well. That is free to you guys. And Brenda is going to put up the link to that. Or you can always head over to simplysimplestamping.com or look down in the YouTube description. I've got a direct link to it as well, and you can always go to that and download. So this is the card. And I don't know, can you guys see the dimension in it? It's just layer upon layer. I think it's so fun. And guys, it's just so easy to do. You're going to love this. So I said at the beginning, you don't need a lot. There's our supplies. How about that? So easy. I'm going to use a balmy blue card base. Mine is cut 4 1/4. I'm sorry. Try that again, Connie. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So just a standard A2 card. Now these two pieces are also 4 1/4 by 5.5. I'm using rich razzleberry and the Awash in Beauty designer series paper. Any designer series paper is going to work great here, but it's going to be so easy because it's just quarter sheets, 4 1/4 by 5.5 on both of those. Now, to do the die cutting here, you've got a couple options. Actually, you have several options, but we have the deckled rectangles, and then we also have the stitched rectangles. Either one of these would work. You might even look in your dies and see if you have some other ones. I'm going to show you a little bonus card at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around where I did it with circles too. So any of these, we're going to actually use the deckled. Brenda and I were chatting before the video started today about back in the 90s when everything was decal. Everything was decal. We use those decal scissors. I said, my entire wedding album was decal scissored. I'm like, yep, that was the 90s. And guess what? It's making a comeback because now we have the deckled rectangles. So, guys, I'm going to share with you my trick to getting all of those fabulous layers out of just these two pieces. So, actually, let me reverse these because I'm going to start with my designer series paper and then I'm going to be using my rich razzleberry. So here's all my dies, and I want to have them all out because we're going to start with the first one, the largest one. And that's going to go right there on my designer series paper. I'm going to take the next smaller size, and that's going to go on rich razzleberry. The next size is going to go inside my designer series paper. The next size down here on my rich razzleberry. We're going to do it again. So the next size there, and the next size here. Now let's see. I think I need one more. Nope, I do. I need 4. So we're going to take that one right there. Normally, I would probably cut this one, but I am not because my sentiment won't fit in there. So we're going to leave one little stray die behind. That is what we have, okay? So we're going to take these and we're going to run them through our die cutting machine. So I'm going to slide those down. I want to make sure they stay kind of together. I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. Let me zoom myself out because this is going to take up some space. Now, when we go to do this die cutting, and sorry, somehow I did not think and get my dies ready, my die plate. So I've got cutting plate 1, or base plate 1, plate 2, cutting plate 3. Here we go. I could layer all of these on here and die cut, but guys, I'm just not that talented. And so if you feel really, really confident, you can go ahead and lay all of these in here, but they have to be straight. So that's why I'm not always really confident about doing them all at once. I think I'd rather do 2 and then do these last 2. I just feel a little bit better about that. So make sure you have that all good and straight. Here's what I like to do. I like to bring my plate up and gently bring it straight down. Of course, I can see I want to give it another looky-loo and make sure everything looks straight. Run this through and crack, pop, snap, crackle. All right, so this outer piece, this is truly scrap. We can get rid of that. We need this and we need this. I'm going to set this die cut one off to the side because now we're going to cut again. And so we finished with those 2 dies. Now we'll come in with this one. Remember, we laid all these out ahead of time. So that's what kind of helps and keeps everything in order. And we want our, make sure you're always putting your or your designer series paper in the same direction because we want it to have this look that it's going in. So we want all of these to be the same, okay? So you just want to take a second and make sure everything is set. There we go. Get my cutting plate. Remember my trick, lift it up, straight down, take another look. We're good. And we will die cut this one. All right, so let me get my pieces here and move my machine out of the way. We will use it again. So this piece is scrap, okay? So we're not going to be using that one. And let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to do that exact same thing. Here's all my little pieces here. And we're going to do that exact same thing with the rich raspberry. Now, if you guys will just forgive me, I went ahead and did that for you just because you just saw me do it. But that is the other reason why we wanted to have all of these laid out ahead of time so that we knew exactly what we were die cutting. So there we go. So we should have 3 layers of the designer series paper. We should have 4 layers of the rich raspberry. Okay? Trust me, I think that's the hardest part right there, and it's really not all that hard. Okay, before we go any further, I'm actually going to do my stamping. And for that, we're going to stamp on this piece of rich raspberry. We're going to do some heat embossing. How about that? So I have got the word thanks, and this is from Artistically Inked. You use whatever sentiment makes you happy. We're going to come in with a Versamark. And guys, I shared this with you last week, and many of you were asking, this is the new, I think it's just called an embossing kit. So I have a tray for my embossing powder. I have a brush so I can brush off embossing boogers. I have the most incredible reversible tweezers so I don't burn my fingers, and an embossing buddy. This thing is the best. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'm just going to bring in my silicone mat, just have something underneath me. So this embossing buddy has this fabulous powder in it, and I'm going to rub it all over my cardstock. Why? Well, what that is going to do, if my hands are have any oils or lotion or anything like that, guess what? Embossing powder will stick to it, and I don't want that. This is the basics kit, and I'm going to pull out the white. It also has clear and black, but we're going to use the white on this one. And I want to keep these tools handy because we're going to use those. Now, we're going to take our Versamark. And Versamark is a clear, sticky ink pad. That's really all it is. And I'm going to take my word thanks, and I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. And now we can take this over to our tray, and we're going to sprinkle our white embossing powder on there. Just enough to get it covered. You don't have to pour out the whole jar. And I'm going to give it a hard tap here on the other side. And it looks really good, but if you have any little strays, you come in with that brush and just brush it away. That is ready to heat set. So I'm going to take my fancy little reversible tweezers. Love these. The tweezers alone were worth buying this thing for. Now, what you'll do with this is take off the cap. I'm going to just put this underneath me just to be on the safe side. And we will just tap that right back into my container. And I really don't mind that there's some white left behind in there because that's pretty much my main color that I use. And so that's what I use my tray for. Okay, we are done with these pieces, but now let's come in with our heat tool and we're gonna do some heat setting. And so I had somebody ask this the other day. Well, first of all, I do like to let my heat tool heat up for a little bit before I get started. But somebody said, oh, I always thought you were supposed to heat set from the bottom. You can. And I'm going to tell you, one of my little tricks is I will heat set from the bottom, and then I flip it over and heat set the top. And I just keep rotating this. And the reason I do that, it kind of keeps my paper from warping. And by the way, Margie said, can you brush it out? You know what? You're absolutely right. I probably could. It should brush out very, very easily. I also use a little microfiber cloth that I always have in my stamp room and do that as well. So can you see how that embossing powder all melted and it looks gorgeous and really pops? That is all we need to do to get that great look. Now, I'm loving this. I'm going to let this cool for just a minute because this cardstock is warm. I mean, not like you could burn yourself or anything, but it is warm. And here in a minute, I'm going to kind of clean off any of that residue from the embossing buddy. While I wait for that to cool off and do that, we're going to go ahead and start to work with these pieces. Okay, here we go. This is the fun stuff. So we're going to start. Oh my goodness. Did I cut it wrong? I did. Oh my gosh, I cut it wrong. You know what? Welcome to my life. This happens. That's okay. You know why? Because I have a backup plan. I should have started with the rich razzleberry, I think is what my problem was. Let me see. Let me see what happens. No, I did it right. This piece was scared me to death. This outer piece was truly scared me. Oh my goodness, because I thought, no, I know that's right. Okay, so you can see which pieces are going to adhere to what, because of course we want our designer series paper on the outside. And then that's our little stamped and embossed piece that'll go on the inside. Let me show you how we're going to put these together. So we will start, let's start with our biggest one. And here's the key. I only want to put adhesive right along this edge of the decal. I'm going to actually use my multi-purpose glue. I think that's going to be best for this. And my friends, first of all, make sure you have the right side up, okay, of that decal. That's going to be important. We just don't want that kind of duller side. So I am only going to put glue right on this edge. I've got my silicone mat underneath me too, just so I don't get glue all over my table. Brenda says, stay until the end. Yes, I've got some great show and tell. Thank you, Brenda. I do. I have 7 pieces of Happy Mail to show off to you guys. All right, so there I've got just little bits of glue. And the reason I like to use the multi-purpose glue is so I can line that up and I have the ability to move it around. Once you're happy with it, give it a good press. Okay, that one is set. We're going to do that again here. Again, making sure that you've got the right decal side up. Okay, I'm not going to do this one. I have it done for you, but you're going to glue both of those together. Okay. And then this one, here's what we're going to do on this one, because we want to center up our thanks versus making sure this gets centered. So I'm going to put my glue. Oh, wait, first I told you we need to brush it off. I've got just a microfiber cloth and I'm just going to buff it. And that's just going to pull any of that embossing buddy powder off of there. It's a dark color, so it can show. All right, now we'll put our little dots of glue here. And we'll add our last little deckled layer. Snowy Mom says I use green glue all the time. I know we call it green glue because the bottle's green. The glue is not, which is good. I kind of need it to be white so I can see. It is. It's awesome stuff. Make sure that your image is going the correct way when you do this, because we want all these pieces to go in correctly. And you see how I can center it up, center up my word thanks. I'm not straight on the back, but I don't care. That's not going to show. So when I have that all done, all my pieces are glued together. And I told you that I decided to work in advance just in case I did something silly like I almost did. I now want to make sure these are all in order. So can you see how my stems are going down? And this one here, my stem finishes out, my flowers are lining up. So we want to make sure all those are going the right way, or else this could look really wonky, because if it went like that, you'd be going, what? Yeah, we want to make sure these are all straight. And when I work with this, I like to just keep them all in order so I don't get anything mixed up. Now, to add all of that dimension on the back, because this is 3 layers deep, okay? We're going to start by taking this layer and we're going to pop it right off of our word thanks, okay? So to do that, let me show you what we're going to use. Well, we got options. I love to give you guys options. These are foam adhesive strips. Consider them Stampin' Dimensional strips, okay? So that is one way you can do it. And the other way that you can do it, get ready, you guys are going to die. These are my Stampin' Dimensional bones. I call them the bones. You guys know what I'm talking about? This is all this leftover on your Stampin' Dimensionals. I save them. Can you tell I have a little bit of a dimensional problem? Yeah, these are old. I've had this bag forever. Mainly I just forget to use them. So the first way I want to show you is how to use the Stampin' Dimensional bones, because, you know, this is going to help us conserve. You know, we have these flat ones and then we have these more jaggedy ones. It doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use them both. How about that? So I'm going to just peel off this backing. And I want to keep the flat edge right to the inside of the rich razzleberry, okay? Keep that to the inside. Let's do this one. Right, flat edge, right to the inside. No one's going to see this, so it's fine. Now let's take another one and we'll just cut it in half. And we're going to just repeat that. One here. Snowy Mom says, I do the same thing. I save them and then I forget to use them. I know. Aren't we terrible? We're so good and thrifty. But the problem is this thing was always in, it's in a drawer. And I've got to learn to just start keeping it out because it's great. Now there's a little spot here. I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to be fine. So now what I'm going to do is, oh, let me show you on this one. We still have one more to do. And I did it in advance, part of it. So this is the one I did with my strips, with my foam adhesive strips. By the way, you get 40 strips. I'm going to tell you, you get more than 40 because this is a strip and that's a strip too. So you actually get quite a bit. So you just peel it off And this one, it just happened to be the right size, but I usually just peel off this whole thing and then cut it. And so that is another way that you can add. Can you see how we just went right to that edge? There's a little piece that I cut off, but I'm going to save it. I'll use it for something else. And then these edges are also more adhesive strips you can use. But yeah, you get a lot of those in that package. Either one's going to work. So now let's put our card together. Now, to do this, we've got to really kind of get things lined up first. So this is going to adhere onto that one. Okay, want to make sure you guys can see. So this adhesive strip is going to adhere to that designer series paper. Okay, like let's just go ahead and do that. This is why we need to make sure the adhesive stays in right up close to that opening right here. And the other thing we want to make sure we do, what is it? Yes, we have to make sure that we're putting these on in the right direction because we don't want our images to go the wrong direction. So I'm using these stems as a guide. You kind of use whatever image you feel. Oh, I need to slide over. Can I do it? Ooh, I can't. See, I don't press anything down till I am good and happy. The camera is kind of a little bit in the way of my vision here. All right. Can you see that cool dimension? Oh, I love it. Okay, when we're good, we're going to give that a press. Now remember, we have more adhesive here, and we're going to press this one into place. Now, this will just peel off our Stampin' Dimensional bone backing. I'm telling you, I hope you guys will give this card a try because it is so cool. It's just so unique. Can you mail this card? I'm sure some of you may have even already asked, can you mail it? You know, it's a pretty thick card. This might either be one that you want to kind of, whoops, see what I almost did? I almost did it wrong. You might need to use a little extra postage. This might be a card that you hand deliver. Center that up. Okay, there. And you see some of this is, did you see how it stuck to my table? That's fine. We're not worried about it. It's going to be just fine. Now, the only place I can put glue to adhere this down is on this piece, nothing else, because can you see it's got all that dimension? We can't. This is the only thing right here that will actually stick to our card. So we're going to take that and center that up on our card base. And of course, this is the only thing that has adhesive. So I'm going to give that a press. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's just so cool. I think this card is like an over the top. And you remember, we just used 2/4 sheets of cardstock and designer series paper to create it. Really incredible dimension. Now I'm going to tell you something else. When I made my original, and I don't know if you can see it here, my original is actually not quite as impressive as this because I tried to do it using just Stampin' Dimensionals on the corners. It did not work. And it wasn't until after I was done, I'm like, wait a minute, because I wasn't getting all this good dimension down in here. I was really struggling. That's when I went, wait a minute, we have these adhesive strips or my Stampin' Dimensional bones. Well, talk about a difference. I mean, this thing is really, really nice and deep now. It is a wow. I just recommend we skip the Stampin' Dimensionals like I did here, but you know what? I like to make the mistakes for you guys so that you get nice, pretty cards. Now, I'm going to tell you one more thing. I tried, I'm like, okay, it needs something. It needs a bow. It needs bling. It needs something. You know what? It did not. Every time I tried to put a bow on it, it didn't look right. And I think it's because we have so much wow going on with the dimension in this that it overpowered it. So this is a really great standalone card. And I know you can't really see it. Maybe you can. Can you see that up on the mantle? This is mantle worthy, totally, because yeah, that dimension going on there, you can really see it. How about another card? Let me show you another one. This one, This is the one that I did, and I used the stitched rectangles on this one, so you can do that as well. Now, there's different ones here. I was focusing on these, and I don't think, yes, I did. I started with the biggest one, the biggest rectangle, and just like you saw me do before, so I went designer series paper, Calypso coral, designer series paper, Calypso coral, and worked my way down. But here's what's different. So on our card we just made, this is a great big thanks in the middle. Mine, I did another cut and just put a piece of white cardstock behind it that says "You're my bestie." And guys, this was done with the Best Butterflies bundle, because you see the stamp came from the Best Butterflies, and I did that in Parakeet Party. And then look at my fun little die cut butterfly, and I added some of the pastel pearls. I did the light ones in the middle, and the little antennas were the darker ones. Isn't it cute? And again, I wish I had realized at the time how amazing this was going to be when I used my Stampin' Dimensional Bones or my foam adhesive strips, because this card could have been an uber wow. It's still a great card. I think it's fabulous, and I loved the little addition of the butterfly on this one. I have a bonus today because I literally just made this morning. So I don't have any directions or anything on it. So for this one, I thought it doesn't have to be rectangles, does it? It can also be circles. So this is the Stylish Shapes, uh, the circle dies that are part of that. There's squares as well. Same thing. You can do it with squares. I don't know. I was just kind of playing around. And I thought that came out kind of fun. Did a little, oops, I've got tugger hair on it. I know I'm the only one that does that. Well, it's not going to let go. All right. Well, you can see I did a fun little swoop here of the hip hooray. So I did the exact same thing. Now this one, I would definitely recommend on circles that you use the strips, because they bend and fold and turn in a circle so much easier. I did a piece here and a piece here rather than trying to go all the way around. And yeah, I just did the same thing there with those circles. So I thought that was kind of fun little embossing in the background. I just wanted to show you a little bonus. So let's bring these in one more time and let you guys take a look. I hope that you're going to give these a try. Patty, thank you so much. You said cute cards. And Margie said, happy birthday, Brenda. That's right. Brenda's birthday was last week. No, this week. I'm sorry. I'm already trying to get rid of the week. It's been a week. So no, those are really fun cards. And these are going to be a wow for sure when you send them. So how about some show and tell? Let's do some show and tell. And then hopefully I have the cards for next week sitting on my table. I usually do, but you know what? I might not. You guys might just have to be surprised next week. You know what? I don't think I brought them over here. Hey, this is what I do sometimes. They're really great cards, though. It's a triple fold. In fact, you know what? I can maybe find a way to run back over to my container there and get those. So here is a card from Deb in Minnesota. She made a thank you card. For those of you that follow me, do you recognize this one? Yeah, we made this one, gosh, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, didn't we? And it was just a really fun, unique gatefold. Love the colors. Love how she used the everyday label punch and used that technique that I taught about stretching the label. But that was a fantastic card. This one is kind of cool. It's from Diane and Chris. They are sisters and they love to watch Simply Simple Stamping. Look at this. They did some stenciling on the back of this one, added some gems. Fun card using some dies. Gorgeous. Love that. Thank you, ladies. This card is from Sandra from Texas. And you know what I loved about this one? I immediately, do you do this? I immediately had to feel it and go, oh, that's not designer series paper. She used scraps of cardstock, of different colored cardstock. And first of all, look at that great ombre look. Excuse me. And did that in the background. Fabulous way to use up some scraps. Way to go, Sandra. Appreciate that. And I have to laugh because the inside, she says, thanks so much for free shipping day. We love free shipping day, don't we? They are great. Here is a card from Annie in Michigan. She used the cup of tea and the Tea Boutique designer series paper. I think that one came out gorgeous. That Tahitian Tide. That's that brand new Tahitian Tide and Orchid Oasis. Gorgeous card. Okay, this card was from Lorena in South Carolina. And I have to make a comment about this one. So she used Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather, two colors that I absolutely love that go together. So that was the background. And then she used the Amazing Thanks dies. But do you see that the background one is in Gorgeous Grape, and then the top layer is in Highland Heather? I will bet that she cut that thank you from behind this Gorgeous Grape layer, and or the thank and the you, the thinner one, from this one, because it saves cardstock. And then she used a stamp. I believe this is called like Summer Silhouette, Summer. It's called Summer something. Anyway, fabulous card. That's a fun one. Okay, this next one. I hope it makes you smile the way it made me smile. This card is from Button in Tennessee. And she said this is a card she made 20 years ago. And I went, I recognize that stamp. I know that stamp. So if you guys have been around stamping it for a while, you just might recognize these stamps too. And then she did a bleaching technique, which we did a long time ago. This card brought me so much joy because it just brought back great memories of an old technique and some old favorite stamp sets. So I love that one. But you know what? Button actually sent me two cards. And this one, I am so impressed. She hand drew this. Oh my goodness, I couldn't hand draw a stick figure, and look at what she did. Well, you know what? This is utterly amazing. She hand drew this fabulous little cow. Look at the little birds on top. Is that just the sweetest? Love that. My last card here came from Sue. I didn't know what she was doing. She kept emailing me. She says, "What are your dogs' names?" And I told her, and she goes, "What color are your dogs?" And this is why she wanted to know, because I told her Tugger was black and brown and Roxy was tan. And she made little cards that on the inside it says, "Roxy and Tugger dropping by to say, hope you're having a great day." And that's from Sue in Arizona. So adorable. I've got one more fun thing I just have to share. Mary Ellen in California. She loves camping as much as me. And I have to show you what she sent me. She sent me the most fabulous camper goodies. And you know, it's so hot right now. It's like in the hundreds this week. We cannot wait to go camping again, but a couple of handtails, keep calm and paddle on. And that looks just like Roxy. I loved it. Home is where you park it. Absolutely. She also loves to go camping. And then this fabulous little camper art. And I have just the spot for it. You know what? These are actually some of the colors in my camper. So excited. So thank you so much for sending that to me. Why am I not here? This is so weird. Okay. I have somehow disappeared. So we're just going to come back here. Is that not the craziest thing? I don't, we've talked about it. That's how it goes with technology for whatever reason. Okay, there's part of me. It's thinking about being there. You know what, Brenda? Let me bring you on. All right, Brenda, are you there? You're muted.
I'm
there.
Here.
Can you see me?
I can see your shoulder.
You can see my shoulder.
It's like yours is frozen or something. I have no idea what's going on.
I'll tell you what, we'll just admire my gorgeous shoulder.
Go grab those other cards and show us and show your hand.
Okay, let's do that. I'm going to go grab some other cards. Keep them entertained, Brenda.
Yeah, she wants me to keep you entertained. I am not the song and dance gal. I am the, what would you call me? I would say you would call me a cautionary tale. There you go. All right, there's her hands with the cards.
Here's my cards. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I think I'm still trying to recover from late night fireworks. Okay, this is the card that we're going to actually create, and I'll be sharing the measurements with you at Simply Simple Stamping. Very pretty, very simple card, right? But look at the wow inside. Huh, isn't it fun? Lots of designer series paper. You are going to have so much fun with this card. Here's the other one using my favorite stamp set right now, which is that Sweetest Cherries. And in here, I didn't use designer series paper. I made my own designer series paper. I did. So designer series paper or stamps, whichever one, those are the cards that we are going to create. Let's see if I'm back yet. I am. I guess technology just said, no, Connie, you were going to show off those cards. All right. Glad we made it back. Hey, before I close, a huge shout out and happy birthday. And thank you to Brenda, my best friend in the whole wide room, who was here to help get us hopefully back online. I don't know how we did it, but you know, she's just kind of that amazing. I also want to thank all of you who have signed up for the Creative 8 Summer Retreat. There's still time. The retreat does not take place until July 22nd and 23rd. That's a Friday night and Saturday. It's all online, every hour on the hour. We've got some really great projects. You're going to have written tutorials. You have pre-recorded videos. You could participate whenever you want. If you can't make it on the 22nd and 23rd, no problem. Do it the next weekend. Do it 5 weekends from now. Do it next year. It's all good. The retreat is really tons of fun. 37 tutorials and 9 live presentations. So join myself. I will be here for that retreat with Brandy Cox, Jackie Bolheist, and Sharon Armstrong. Sharon will also be bringing us mystery stamping. It's a really fun event. I'd love to have you join us. You can find the registration at simplysimplestamping.com. Just look in that blue menu bar and you'll see Creative 8 Retreat registration. Trust me, for those that have attended before, they love it. It is such a fun weekend and it is set aside just for you so you can have some stamping fun. We all need that. It's hot outside. Stay inside and stamp. It's 100 degrees out there, you guys. I'm ready for those 80s again. So, well, thank you for sticking with me through my little techie hiccups. I appreciate you guys being here. Stay safe. Love you guys. God bless. Bye-bye.